Sai Ram class, how are you all? I hope that you all are very fine. So class, now we will start our new chapter, chapter number 8, comparing quantities. That means in this chapter we will learn how we can compare in between two quantities. So let's first see what is comparison. So you can see here that there is a boy eating laddus and there is a girl whose height is given 150 centimeter. So can a comparison could be possible in between the number of laddus eaten by the boys and the height of the girl Hina? No, right? Because the comparison should be in between the same unit or in the same field. So we can see, now you can say that the comparison in between the number of laddu eaten by the girl and number of laddu eaten by boy could be possible, means the comparison could be possible. Whereas in the other hand, the height of Amir and Hina is given. Now we can compare in between their height, because you can see that height, that common unit, we can compare the height of Hina with the height of Amir. Okay, so that means it is very essential to have the same unit to compare in between two different things. Now let's see one more example. You can see here that cheetah and a man is running, okay, and their speed of running is given. The speed of cheetah is 120 kilometer per hour, whereas the speed of man is 20 kilometer per hour. So you can see that kilometer per hour, and on the other hand, in case of man also the speed is given in kilometer per hour. That means the unit is same. We cannot compare kilometer per hour with meter per second, okay, because the units are different. For comparing in between, we have to convert this in kilometer per hour, or what we can do, we can compare this in meter per second, okay. So units should be same. To compare two quantities, the units must be same, okay. This thing you have to keep in your mind. Now let's see what is equivalent ratios. Now the equivalent is formed with word equal. Now equivalent ratio means the ratios which have same or equal value. You can see here we have given two ratios, and when we solve it in its simplest form, for example, when we divide both numerator and denominator with by 6. So what we will get? We will get 3 upon 4. So you can see here this and this value is same. So we can say that two ratios that have the same value are called equivalent ratios, as you can see in given example. Now to find an equivalent ratio, how we can find the equivalent ratio of given ratio? For this, what we have to do, we have to multiply or divide both quantities by the same number. Let's see how we can do it. You can see here that we have given a ratio 3 by 2, and we have to make the equivalent ratio of 3 by 2. So what we can do, we have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2 by same number. You can see here, when we multiplies numerator as well as denominator with 2, we get 6 by 4. Okay, now let's check by dividing both with 2, we will get again 3 by 2. That means this 6 by 4 is equivalent ratio to 3 by 2. Okay, you can see more example like this. For example, we have 3 by 2. So let's multiply numerator and denominator with 4. We will get 12 by 8. Now again, when you divide it with 4, you will get 3 by 2. That means this 12 by 8 is equivalent ratio with 3 by 2. Okay, I hope this is very much clear to you all. Now let's move. When we have to check whether the given ratios are equal or not, for this what we have to do? We have to make their denominator equal. You can see here we have 1:2 and 2:3. That means we have 1 by 2 and 2 by 3, and we have to check whether they are equal or not. First we will convert their denominator equal. You can see here, in one fraction we have 2 as denominator, in another we have 3. So for making their denominator same, what we will do? We will multiply the first fraction with the denominator of the second one. You can see here what we are doing. We are multiplying 1 by 2 with 3, and we will get 3 by 6. And second thing we will do, we will multiply the second fraction with the denominator of the first one. As you can see here, we are multiplying 2 by 3 with 2, and we get 4 by 6. Now we have two new fractions, 3 by 6 and 4 by 6. You can see that both have the same, that is 6 as denominator. That means now 1 by 2's value become 3 by 6 and 2 by 3's value become 4 by 6. Now we can easily compare these fractions as their denominator is same. So only we have to focus on numerator. Whose numerator is bigger, that fraction is greater than the another one. So you can see here 4 by 6 is greater than 3 by 6. So 4 by 6 is the value for 2 by 3 and 3 by 6 is the value for 1 by 2. That means 1 by 2 is smaller than 2 by 3. Okay, that is the way we have to compare in between given ratios or fractions. Now let's start our exercise based on the prior discussed topics. So the first question is, find the ratio. We have given rupees 5 to 50 paisa. So first thing is, you can see here it is in rupees, whereas this in paisa. So first thing what we have to do is we have to convert them in the same unit. What we can do? We can convert rupees 5 in paisa, or we can convert 50 paisa into rupees. So let's see how we can do it. So what we did? We convert 5 rupees into paisa. So when we do so, we multiplies 5 with 100 and we get 500 paisa. On the other hand, we have 50 paisa. So when we write them in ratio 500 by 50, and after solving them in simplest form, that is 0 cancel out with 0, 5, 1 and 10, we will get 10 by 1. Again you can see we have 500 by 50, 0 cancel out with 0, and 5 divided by 5 we get 1, 50 divided by 5 we get 10. Now we have 10 by 1, that is 10. Okay. The same thing is here we have 10:1 as the ratio of given quantities. Now the second is 5 kg to 210 gram. So the first thing we have to do is we have to convert, sorry, it is 15 kg. We have to convert 15 kg into gram. So for this we multiplies 15 with 1000, we get 15,000 gram. Now on the other hand we have 210 gram. So we put 15,000 upon 210, 0 cancel out with 0, and then we divided both the numbers with 3. So in numerator we get 500 and in denominator we get 7. Okay, so our ratio is 500 by 7. And in the same way you have to do the other parts also. In C you can see that you have to convert 9 meter in centimeter first, and in this you have to convert 30 days into hours by, as we know that in a day we have 24 hours, so you have to multiply 30 with 24, you will get the number of hours in 30 days. Okay class, now move on to next question. The question number 2 is, in a computer lab, there are 3 computers for 6 students. Means we will have 3:6. Now, how many computers will be needed for 24 students? That means, on the other hand, we have number of students, but we do not have the number of computers. So, we can write it as 3 by 6 equals to question mark by, it is question mark, okay, 24. That means we have to find the number of displays. Okay, so ratio will be same, means 3 computer for 6 student. That means for the same ratio we have to find the number of computers for 24 students. So what we can do, we can take this 24 to the another side and it will multiply here with the fraction 3 by 6, as on in this side it is dividing. That means we are using our prior chapter in this solution. So let's see how we can do it. So number of computer required for 3 students is 6. So number of computer required for 1 is 3 by 6. That is half. Now number of computer required for 24 students is 24 by half, or you can see 3 by 6 into 24, it is the same thing, okay, 24 by half. So when we solve it, we get our answer 12. That means number of computer required for 24 students is 12 computers. Now the next question is, we have population of Rajasthan which is 570 lakh and population of UP 1660 lakhs. And area of Rajasthan is given, also area of UP is given. That means 570 lakh population for 3 lakh kilometer square of area. Now we have to answer the questions. The first one is, how many people are there per kilometer square in both the states? So we just have to divide 570 with 3 lakh. See, we have 570 lakh and on the other hand we have 3 lakh. So lakh with cancel out with lakh. So we just have to divide 370 with 3 to get the number of population per kilometer square, and same we have to do for UP also. So let's see how we can solve it. Population of Rajasthan is 570 lakh and area of Rajasthan is 3 lakh kilometer square. Then the population of Rajasthan in 1 kilometer square area is 570 lakh divided by 3 lakh kilometer per square, and when we solve it we will get answer 190 people per kilometer square, and same thing we have to do for UP also. That means we have to divide 1660 lakh with 2 lakh, and we will get our answer 830 people per kilometer square. Now let's see what is the second part of this question. Which city is less populated? So you can see that the population in per kilometer square in Rajasthan is 190, whereas in UP is 830. So we can easily see that in per kilometer square population is more in UP. So that means the in comparison in between two states, Rajasthan is less populated, whereas UP is more populated. Okay class, now this is the ratio portion of this exercise. Now we will have the another thing is percentage. Now percent is derived from percentum, which means per 100. We all know that whenever we find out the percent, we will find out according to, means we can take 100 as a whole. Now let's see when we have to find the percent of given numbers. As you can see here, we have number of tiles given, number of different colors of tiles given, and the total is 100. So that means this is the case when we have total as 100. So what we have to do, we have to just divide the given number with 100 to find out its percent. But when we do not have total is 100, means when our total is not 100. So the first thing you have to keep in mind that 100 divided by 100 is known as percent. Means whenever we multiplies anything with 100, it will convert in percentage. So you can see here we have number of beads, red and blue, and the total is 20. Now in this case total is not 100. So what we have to do, we have to convert it in percent. We have to multiply it with 100 by 100. And we all know that the total is 20 and the number of red beads is 8. So when we multiplies 8 by 20 with 100 by 100, we get our answer, the percent of red beads. Okay, the simple thing is, for example, you have to find the percent of red beads. You know it is 8 and the total is 20. What you have to do, you have to just multiply it with 100 and put a sign of percent. When you solve it, you will get your answer, which is 40, and this sign is percent. Okay, you do not have to confuse about it. Now let's see how we can convert a fraction number to percent. We all know that we can easily convert a fraction into percent by just multiply that fraction with 100. Okay, so you can see here that we have given 1 by 3, and when we multiplies it with 100 by 100, 100 by 100 means 100%. When we multiplies it with 100%, we will get our answer. Means whatever we will get, it will be in percent. Now the second thing is how we can convert a decimal into percent. First we have to convert the decimal into fraction and then easily multiply that fraction with 100 and we get it in percentage. You can see first convert decimal into fraction, then into percentage. Now we have given a decimal 0.75. First we multiplies it in fraction by just removing its decimal and put 100 in its denominator. Now we multiply it with 100 and we get the answer in percentage. Okay, means the very simple thing, to convert a fraction into percentage, just multiply it with 100 and we will get our answer in percent. To convert a decimal into percentage, what we have to do? We have to first convert that decimal into fraction, then multiply it with 100 and then we will get answer in percentage. Now we have reverse thing, that how we can convert a percentage into fraction and decimal. So for this, for example, we have a percent 1%. To convert it with in fraction, we all know that percent sign means division with 1000. So we have to just put sorry, not 1000, it's 100 in its denominator and we will get the percent into fraction. You can see for 10% we have to just divide it with 100. For 25% also we have to just divide it with 100, and when we solve it more we will get answer 1 upon 4. Okay, similarly now for converting it in decimal, now we have the percent in the form of fraction. Now we can easily convert it in decimal by just solving it. We all know that when we solve 25 by 100 we get 1 upon 4, and when we solve 1 upon 4, what we will get? We will get answer 0.25. Okay, so now our further questions are based on the same thing. Okay, so the first question of exercise 8.2 is convert the given fraction number to percent. Now we all know that to convert fraction into percent, what we have to do? We have to just multiply the given fraction with 100 and we will solve it and get answer in percentage. So let's see. For first, that is 1 by 8. In order to convert a fraction into a percent, multiply the fraction by 100 and put the percent sign, that is this given sign you can see here. So when we multiply 1 by 8 with 100, we will get answer 12.5%. Similar thing you have to do with other part also. Second question is convert the given decimal fraction to percent. Now we had already discussed that to convert a decimal into percent, first you have to convert the decimal into fraction. How you can do this? You have to just remove its decimal and put 100. Why? Because we have two numbers after decimal. Now we have 65 by 100. That is its fraction form. Now you can easily convert it into percent by just multiplying it with 100. So you can see easily here when we do so, that means when we multiply 65 by 100, we will get answer 65%. Okay. And the same thing you have to do with other part also. We are doing this question in a quick way because we had already discussed all the types. Okay, so yes, so our third question is estimate what part of the figure is colored and hence find the percent. So you can see in the first part we can easily see that it is 1/4 of the whole. So we can say that it is in fraction, it is 1 upon 4, but we have to convert it into percentage. So for this we just multiply the 1 upon 4 fraction with 100 and we will get answer 25%. Now you can see in second part we have 3 out of 5. You can see here 1, 2, 3. 3 is colored out, 3 is colored out of 5. So it is our fraction. Okay. So you have to just multiply it with 100 to convert the given fraction, that is this, in percentage. You can see here it is the second part. We have 3 by 5, and when we multiplied it with 100, we get 60% as answer. Okay. Now let's see the third part. Now you can see here we have 3 colored out of 8. You can see 1 up to 3. 3 is colored out of 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Out of 8. So 3 by 8 is our fraction, and to convert it into percent we have to multiply it with 100, and we will get answer 37.5%. Okay class, I hope you all get all the things very well, that how we can convert a percent into fraction, then into decimal, and how we can convert the decimal into fraction and then into percentage. Now one more thing in this chapter is, whenever we added all the parts, we always get a whole. You can see we have 8 number of red beads and 12 number of blue beads, and we have total 20. When we added the parts, that means 8 with 12, we get 20, which is the whole. You can see here total is also 20, right? So you can see here when we add the parts, that is red beads with blue beads, we get 20, and we also know that 20 is the total. So when we divide 20 by 20, we will get answer 1, that is whole. Whole means complete. Okay. So class, this is it for today. We will continue our this exercise, that is 8.2, in our next class and discuss more important topics and concept of this chapter. Till then, thank you.